Hi, this is Alysha Schertz, reporter for BizTimes Milwaukee. Today's job market is continuously changing. Milwaukee-based Manpower Inc. has identified 4 major trends within that job market that are changing the way we do business. I recently had the opportunity to chat with Jeff Joerres, CEO and Chairman of Manpower, to discuss those trends and talk about why businesses need to pay attention to them. Jeff, you recently spoke to a group of Marquette alums at the Marquette Circles event. Can you tell us a little bit about what you were asked to speak about?
Well, Marquette actually has done several of these around the country, and what they were hoping for was to really create an environment where it stimulated thought. So they had talked about innovation, what are some of the global trends that we're seeing. So it was a very focused, from a how do you stimulate conversation, and then from our perspective it was pretty easy because we're in the labor market. So I then was able to spend most of the time talking about what are some of the trends that we're seeing in the labor market.
Now, Manpower has identified 4 of those mega trends. Can you tell us what those mega trends are and kind of a little bit about each one?
Sure. When we looked at what was really affecting our business on not only on a U.S. basis but equally important across the globe, we really came down to these 4 mega trends, which we call the world of work trends. The demographics, what's happening with talent, what is happening with how much the individual rules is what we call it. So the second one would be individual rules, how they really are really making the rules for themselves within the labor market. Customer or client, depending on what you would call it, consumer in some cases, the sophistication of how they're becoming much more sophisticated. And then the last is how is technology really playing a role in all of these and the revolutions within technology. If you look at each of those 4 trends, while they affect the world of work tremendously, they can affect other businesses as well. Take technology, what's happening with kind of the social networking and the job boards and career advice. Or if you go into the individual rules about posting yourself on your Facebook or saying that I'm going to participate in a company in a certain way is really a big part of it, and it's really focused on those demographics and talent. And then of course that client sophistication part about how much information and transparency is available in the world today, that you have to keep up with the transparency that your clients or consumers are looking for. And as an organization, whether it be in the labor market or for that matter any other world, you really got to be looking at those 4 things is our view of it.
What has Manpower done within its own company to address those mega trends?
Well, actually what's happened is we were moving down the path of really articulating those trends. And as we were articulating the trends, we had really initiatives that were directed towards how do we remain competitive in those areas, and then how do we actually exceed the expectation and beat the competition in those. So we have 3, 5, and in some cases even longer year terms that we've said this is how we're going to address each of those trends to make sure that not only are we competitive for ourselves, but we're relevant for our clients. Because at the end of the day, it's how do we help our clients win in each one of those 4, and how do we organize ourselves in each one of those 4 that will really differentiate Manpower from the rest of the world and help our clients win.
How can other companies take this information, identifying these 4 major trends, how can they take that information and apply it to their own companies?
Well, it's really dangerous if what you do is you take the 4 trends at face value and start to make strategic decisions or any kinds of decisions based on those. So what I would recommend is something very simple, which is to really socialize those trends. By, within a company, open the discussion up and say, each one of these, take a look at what effects do they have on you? What do they mean to you? How are they going to affect us now, and how do they affect us in the future? Because in many times, and in many cases, it's the conversation around the 4 trends that lead to the actual results, not just putting an action plan in a sterile way based on those 4. So it requires conversation, dialogue, and somewhat of an iterative process. And if a company were to engage in that as part of their strategic process, I think they'd find ways in which they would be able to address these things that will help their companies as well.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.